Fighting is escalating in Gaza, and so far, Secretary of State John Kerry unable to broker a ceasefire. And tonight, there's news of tensions rising between the United States and Israel. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Rogers claiming friction exists between President Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Chairman Rogers joins us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta.
The words that there may be friction between the two. Israel is one of our closest allies. Why do you say there's friction between the two?
Well, I don't think it's newly caused by this particular conflict. If you look back, there's just been some uneasy times, clearly, between the Prime Minister and President Obama. If you look back at 2009 in the President's Cairo speech, when he talked about the settlements of Israel being illegitimate, completely caught our Israeli allies by surprise. And then in 2011, he surprised them again when he announced that he would go back to the 67 borders for any negotiations going forward, which is a huge security concern for Israel. And so those uncertainties interjected in a relationship in a very dangerous neighborhood, I just think has led to a little friction along the way. And in this particular case, the tactic of getting a ceasefire to me has been a little bit suspect. You want to do these things, you want to pull the parties in and try to hash it out without going to the press, without making a public statement about who's right and who's wrong going into this. Israel is literally fighting for its very life and existence here, and they need a little space on the security front, and I think there's some things that Hamas wants that can probably work into some agreement, but you can't do that if you start to take sides early on in this.
Well, this has been a difficult issue that has many administrations have struggled with it. The world has struggled with it, and I'm just curious. I mean, these frictions. Does this make it any more difficult, or is everyone sort of bypassing the friction? And at least, is there some smart strategy to go forward to try to resolve, which is almost the impossible?
Well, again, the Hamas is, changing its demands and what it needs for a ceasefire. That's problematic. Israel has some very certain security needs. Counter-tunneling is incredibly important. I think they've identified over 30. They've closed a portion of them, but not all of them, because it's a complicated process to do that. So these represent a very clear and real threat to the safety and security of Israel. Remember, it's believed that some of these students, part of the kidnap operation and brutal murder of those teenagers happened through some of these tunnel networks. So this is incredibly important to their national security. It has to be a part of the discussion. You can't just say we're going to have a ceasefire and not account for those security concerns and these rocket forces, if you will, of the military wing of Hamas.
Chairman, assume that Hamas won't agree to a ceasefire. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think Israel is going to continue to degrade the military wing of Hamas. And I think they're going to have to do that. They found them better prepared. Remember, this is about the third time since, I want to say in the last few years, that there's been an exchange. Hamas fires missiles, Israel reacts to that. And so they're found a pretty determined, better armed, seemingly better trained military wing of Hamas. And that's concerning. It's concerning for all of us. And I think they believe they have to degrade the military capability of Hamas in order to get a ceasefire and a settlement where they get permanent peace between Israel and Gaza. And, there's a lot of issues to work through, but you can get to a ceasefire in this that I think would meet both standards.
All right. In order to degrade, at what point does Hamas cry uncle? Because, they're getting pummeled with the superior military strength of Israel. What is it that's going to get Hamas to, how far are we going to go with this? They're not we, but Israel.
Sure. Well, they want certain conditions. They certainly want border crossings. They want the free flow of goods and services. And again, that's a security concern for Israel about them rearming and re-equipping. So they both have a set of demands. Both hope to get an objective done before there's a ceasefire. And I think it's important to understand that. Israel to degrade the military wing of Hamas, and Hamas to get some concessions on the free flow of goods and border crossings and other things that they believe helped empower them. So that's where you're at. I think you'll see a continued military engagement on behalf of Israel until they feel that they've met that threshold of a degraded military wing of Hamas. then I think you'll see a much more concerted effort to try to find a ceasefire. And I think Hamas is going to keep going as long as they believe that public opinion is going their way. Remember, they're taking civilian casualties because they're fighting from civilian populations in a way that is irresponsible and dangerous to the lives of the people they supposedly care about.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir.
Thanks.